Hello, everyone. You're listening to Lipstick and Leather, and on the phone with me from Chilliwack is Ken Stone from Harlots Webb. How's your day going, Ken?
It's going just fine, Ryan. I'm glad to hear your voice again. I really like you, and I think you're an awesome dude.
Well, that's very kind of you, and I think the same about you. I appreciate it.
Oh, super. Well, then we're on the same page right away.
That's right. That's right. Now, the new year's coming up. Can we expect any new music or projects from you in the new year?
Yes, you can. I have a couple I'm working on. I'm a little disabled at the time, but I have a couple I'm working on, and I'm going to put out some new music. It's going to be what I'm going to work on. I'll tell you exactly what I'm working on. I'm going to work on a Ken Stone remix and recording of my favorite songs.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be nice. We'll see what it turns out like. My favorite songs, I have a lot of weird favorite songs, and I think it would be really good because it would be a bunch of weird mix.
Well, on that topic, I know...
Some covers.
Okay, yes. In your career, you've done a bunch of covers, such as Balls to the Wall, Headhunter by Crocus, and Peace Pipe by Cry of Love. Would you ever consider these tracks for the cover album?
Of course. I mean, Peace Pipe is like, man, those guys are one of the most underrated bands that have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been underrated, but they're way worse because they had a hit like 3 or 4 years after my album was released, and they were the wrong style of music at the time, but they were really good. Like, Peace Pipe is an awesome song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I understand what it's like to be running under the truck, right? You get pushed under the truck. And, you know, that's the way it goes. Like, I mean, hey, you got to roll and fold with it, right?
Absolutely. Now, I know you love Boston also. Would you maybe consider a Boston cover for the album?
I'm sorry, La?
Oh, the band Boston. Would you ever consider doing maybe a Boston cover for the album? Because I know you're a big fan of Boston.
Oh, I am. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Boston. He was the most underrated vocalist who ever lived. And I can't believe I think this year they did get into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
And they got their little brick and stuff like that. Oh, Boz is dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's been dead like 5 or 6 years. And he was a great singer. Like, when I listened to him, I'm just like, holy mackerel, that guy did awesome stuff. And I love what Boz did. And when I heard that they were going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was like, yes, Boston, for sure. Can't believe it took so long.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It took too long.
You know, they have Stevie Nicks in as a solo artist, and then they put in Fleetwood Mac as a band and stuff like that. And are you kidding me? Like, they were good. Like, that was a super good album. Can't figure out any song on that hasn't been done perfectly. But in the same instance, that Boston's first album was ridiculously good. They didn't do a heck of a lot after, but that one album was so perfect. You know, you just listen to it. It doesn't matter what song you listen to. Christy McVie, and you know, it's really, really good. It's more than really good. It's like the White Album or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Jeez, I wish I could have one song like they did on a whole album.
Definitely. Now, having lived an interesting life, can we ever expect a Ken Stone biography or maybe a book about the Vancouver hard rock scene in the 80s?
Well, the Vancouver hard rock scene in the 80s, I could sum it up in one sentence. It sucked. So, it wasn't like Seattle at the time.
Right.
Seattle did so much better, and they embraced their local talent a lot better. Vancouver never liked heavy music. Lucky that the Headpins got embraced, and Biff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not even that heavy, like, you know, so she tried to be mellow and not heavy anymore. She had I Love Myself Today, and she made a great impression, and she was heavy, and it was good, and boy, oh boy, she cracked the market. She cracked the Canada belt and got into the States. But what did she do afterwards? Everyone was saying, okay, let's be mellower, and stuff, and that's not a good thing. I mean, put the pedal to the metal. For Biff, anyways, because she's actually a pretty cool chick. She's beaten cancer a bunch of times and all kinds of stuff she's done. But now, when that girl, same with Darby, when I was seeing her, I said, you keep it to the metal. Don't ever stray. That's the way I look at it, buddy.
For sure. That makes sense.
Don't ever stray, but you can't do it too much. Like I did it too much. I got criticized on that Snake Eye 7 album because they go, this guy is way too off the top. And there was guys writing reviews saying I was way too off the top. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, gotta learn, don't you? Obviously, and besides, they're only critics, but the point is that if they're thinking I'm going way too off the top, well, at least I can. So, I don't know. Who knows, right, buddy?
For sure. Now, Harlots Webb's first singer was Jody. Now, how did you get into joining the band Harlots Webb as their second singer?
I was... sorry, buddy, but that's a funny question. I was doing this kind of band where I was just doing because I won enough of these little contests they had and stuff, and they used to have a singer just come out and try, because I just stopped playing guitar and devoted myself to actually singing. And so I went and did those, and I won 3 in a row, and people got to see me, and then they put me in this, the guy asked me, he goes, well, you should come play with our band. So I did that for about 2.5 years, and then I said, I want to write stuff. They didn't want to write stuff, and it's just like this, wanted to play in Alberta and stuff, and it's like, that's freaking crappy, being out 12 weeks, and then coming home for 2, and it's not my deal. I want to write songs so we could stay in one place. And they didn't want to do it. So then, of course, I started doing my own writing and stuff. And then I started going out, and I was still doing those contest weird things, but I was doing my own music, man. And, yeah. And then Mike and see me and said, this is the guy we got to get. So that was it. That's all the incubus started.
Now, do you still have the pants from the All Night Long live video?
What was that?
Do you still have the pants that you wore in the All Night Long video?
Well, I don't have the leather, but I have the chains.
Okay.
The chains, I made those myself, and it was a really great idea. But it really sucked, because jumping on the drum riser and stuff, it was like, well, by the time I get outfitted, I was 30 pounds more than I was. And it was tough to move around like that. After I did it, I felt like I had a gym workout. But I did it. And you know what? It looks really good. It's actually quite a good-looking setup. And, yeah, all my videos and stuff like that, I'm proud of, because I don't look like total hair dude.
Right.
Yeah, well, I couldn't because I sweat too much. So I made my outfit suit it. Yeah, a lot of fun, and I look forward to a lot of fun still. I'm just waiting to get well again, and then I will go out and have more of a lot of fun.
Of course.
I'm not going to be a Kevin Dubrow and die in my mother's basement. I'm not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, I want to go out and I want to kick some darn ass. And I have a lot of good gigs, and I have a lot of good promoters and stuff, and they like me a lot. And they're saying, hey, when are you going to get better? When are you going to get better? I don't know. But when I do, I'll be back. I'll be back to haunt anyone.
Now, Harlots Webb did a video for Wild Times, am I correct?
That's correct.
I wonder if it'll ever be on YouTube, because I've never had a chance to see it.
It hasn't been released on YouTube. And if I find it, and believe you me, I just moved again, then I have to go through all these videos and stuff. If I find it, then I'll take it down and get it put on a DVD, and then I'll have it. But yeah, it's actually kind of a weird video, but hey, I like weird.
Yes. I bet you have lots of live footage, too, you could add to the DVD.
Well, no, I don't, because I wasn't doing that at the time. But it'd be a lot of fun, I'll tell you how much. Oh, yeah, I'd like it. I mean, Ken Spence did a great job on taking care of the whole video stuff and that, and we had a lot of good people involved in it. And for Vancouver in 1990, well, it was actually 1989, that was a really, like, huge deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were, like, the huge band and stuff, so it was really kind of cool to be famous for about, I don't know, 6 months. Hey, but whatever, you know, most people are never famous for any time, so.
Very true.
I embrace it.
Definitely.
We always have to embrace the good things in life.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of labels are interested in releasing bands' unreleased demos. Now, have any labels contacted you to maybe release some of the unreleased tracks that you record for a second Harlots Webb album?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. There is the Smokin', Drinkin', Stinkin'. The Smokin', Drinkin', Stinkin' thing is on YouTube.
Okay.
It's in the Harlots Webb thing, but and that has all this stuff. But the recording is really, really crappy and everything. Because the cameras back then, they had really small, stupid microphones that couldn't record stuff, and everything's recorded in 2K, right? Mm-hmm. So you know what that's like. So it's pretty stinky, but geez, I do have some unreleased stuff, and yeah, I have to go through my cassettes to get it. Remember that old gag?
I do.
Yeah, so I'll have to go through cassettes and see if I have something. But that's where I grabbed my Christmas song from.
Yes.
It was from cassette. And I went to a guy who converts from cassette to, CD. And that's why you have that.
Yes. On the topic of the Christmas song, would you ever record any more Christmas songs down the road, maybe for a full album?
I don't think so. Ken Stone doing, I'm dreaming of white Christmas. I don't think so. Nobody wants to hear me do it worse than Bing Crosby. Well, I'm being honest, right?
Yep.
I mean, if something's good, it's good, right? You don't go in there and start interfering with it. The only thing I would say about that is that the Carpenters, Karen Carpenter, I own her Christmas album, or their Christmas album. God rest her soul, she's dead. But that is a really, really good album. Like, she's better than everybody, and she sings all the songs perfectly, and God rest her soul. She was a lovely, lovely singer who I always admired. And, yeah, it's really sad she passed. But that's the only album I have of a Christmas anything. I play it every year.
Gotcha. Now, what are some of your favorite memories from doing shows with Nitro, Manowar, and Allison Chains when you were in Harlots Webb?
Well, Nitro, I totally remember because they were the highest singer, the fastest guitar player, and all this kind of stuff. And I totally sang higher than him. And so it was like, okay. And so I went in and I did that gig and stuff like that, and they were like really weird dudes. It was like, you can't be here for our sound check. So they actually made us leave, and so we had to go outside and smoke cigarettes and stuff, which I'm okay with, and come back in when they were done. And they were kind of funny. They were funny guys to play with because, well, who's kidding you? They were trying to make it at the time. And if they're playing in Vancouver at the Starfish Room, and with Harlots Webb, they're on the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So they come in afterwards, and we did our sound check and stuff like that. And I don't know, I never had really much conversation or anything with any of the guys. They were really standoffish, so it didn't matter. Now, Manowar was different. They were really cool guys to play with. And I say Cataract Joe, but it's not really his name. His name was Joe, the bass player, but he had 2 cataracts in his eyes. And they were obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, he was a great guy. They were good guys to work with. It was really, really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed my engagement with them. Totally. Now, the other one that you're mentioning is Allison Change, and it's like, what do I care? I'm the headliner at the Commodore. I don't care, but I listen to him and go, our music's really weird. Like, what are they doing? It's like, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that can't be a song. They don't even jump around the stage. They don't do anything, right? And it's kind of like, the less we do, the better. And I was like completely flabbergasted by the whole thing. But I had to admit, when I was listening to it, yeah, but the songs are good. They're not doing the hair metal thing or anything like that, but the songs are good, right? They're standing there doing nothing. But the songs are good. And so I had to tell my band, I went back up to the green room and I said, hey, these guys are really good. You're not going to immediately see it, but if you listen to it, it's good. So we have to go out there and kick some butt. And we did. But the point is that it didn't matter kicking butt, because you're kicking butt with 80s stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, didn't matter. But it was a great experience, except for their manager asking me where he could get some horse. And I never even knew that term at the time, right? And that was weird, right? But, hey, whatever. You know, they ended up, doing really well for themselves. I'm sorry about Lane dying, but I could see it happening because, like, they did a lot of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And not just trying to drink themselves to death like myself and Alice Cooper. You know, you try and drink yourself to death, it's a lot slower death. That's a fast death. Anyways, I don't want to make it crummy. Well, anyways, they were actually really, really cool guys to play with. They were good guys. They weren't shitty people. And I was lucky to play with them, even though they were backing me up, which is a strange statement, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I was good, really good, but our album should have been released in 1985.
Right.
And then I would have been like, hey, a big dude. Well, maybe not. Could be like Ugly Kid Joe or something like that, which didn't work out the dick. But it doesn't matter. It's not about the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about what you do with your performances, what you do with your recordings. That's the most important thing, my friend, that I've noticed in my career, and I'm starting to produce bands now. And it's like, do what you're strong at, and fuck what you're bad at.
Right.
Like, just stay away from stuff you can't do. And write songs that you can do, and make them, like, easy peasy for you, instead of doing songs that are hard for you, and you're not going to be able to perform live all the time. Like, it's foolish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it before. Actually, one of the weirdest things is Dream About Me on the Webb album.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That song is hard for me to do. I know it sounds simple, and it is, but it's actually the hardest song I do on the whole album. When we were on tour and stuff like that, and I was doing Dream About Me, that was the hardest song. And I used to like be sweating bullets before I did it. I'm all warmed up, and we done this, and drank my lemon juice and drank my, a couple of shots of Jack Daniels and gargled it and stuff like that, because that was the song, and it sounds stupid. That would be the song that rattled me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it really did. But hey, I got through it, and I always made sure I finished my job, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, having recorded in the same studio as Katie Lang and Queensryche, of course, recording the Harlots Webb debut album, did you interact with the Queensryche guys or Katie Lang?
No, I interacted with Katie Lang, but I did not. Jeff Tate.
Mm-hmm.
He was really like puffy and weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who are you guys, right? I mean, and I agree with that. I mean, I have to agree that Queensryche, had a pretty successful album right before then. They were on the downside then, but they didn't know it because they hadn't recorded their next album, which they just were doing. And he thought, yeah, I'm fucking Mr. Cool. Katie Lang, I had a funny story about that. But I ordered steak and spaghetti and stuff, and she was a vegan, right?
Right.
And I was like, hey, Katie. And she came out to the green room because we had one green room for 3 bands. But Jeff and Queensryche never used it. They're just like, no. So I don't know why. I think we're below you? Yeah, possibly. I don't know. KD Lang was pretty okay. And I said, hey, KD, I said, I need you to sign an autograph, and I want you to write it to the Ace. And that was a friend of my mom's. And she loved Katie Lang. So I thought, hey, I'm here. I might as well get the autograph, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was actually really, really good. She was really, really good. Queensryche, I'm not going to say they were really bad, because they weren't bad. They just didn't show up.
Right.
So, yeah, like Jeff Tate walked through once, and that was just go outside. Yeah, so it was fun. It was fun being with, great performers and great people. And doing that kind of stuff and thinking, yeah. While I'm here, I'm going to make something great, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, didn't pan out. But hey, make $50 a month. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good because that's a long, long time ago. You know what I mean, bro? Mm. Yeah. Long, long time ago. And $50 a month is like, hey, wouldn't expect nothing.
Right.
I'm just a disabled dude right now. So, hey, everything helps, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, how did Harlots Webb get involved in performing for the Variety Club Telethon?
It's really funny. That was our manager, Ken Spence, and he put the band into the telethon wish list kind of thing. And they said, yeah, we'll take that. 7 in the morning, which was like, oh, well, it's really good for me. I was in Calgary. And I took a flight out, so I'm up all night. And I was like, oh, God. As soon as I got there, I said, cab driver, I'm going, liquor store. And got a 60 of rye, mixed it with Coke, and had that bottle on the stage on there, because you can see the Variety Club on them taking swigs off it, because it's 7 in the morning, man.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think, I got to get greased before I play. A little bit, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I have to be super drunk or anything like that, but I have to have a couple of drinks and stuff. So I just mixed up with that, and it worked out okay. Actually, I was so ashamed of it when I seen it at first. Back in the day, I thought, that's lousy. But now I look at it and go, hey, that was pretty good. Like, that's actually pretty good, that telethon video.
It is. It's really good.
It's pretty good for live. I mean, sometimes you hear live and you're like, oh, man, that's crappy. But no, that wasn't crappy. It's good enough. You get the gist of the songs, anyways.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So then that was really cool. The funniest thing about telephone was making me laugh now when I think about it. Because I'm just me, right?
Right.
And I'm an odd person. But anyways, we're back there in the green room, and it's a big green room. So we had a deal that there had to be 24 beer and a 40-pounder of rye back there. And they did do that. So we were a really heavy drinking band. And go back there, and I'm like, and these clowns come in, and they start putting on their makeup. Because it's a variety club, right?
Right, right.
And they got all dressed up, and they looked at each other and squeezed their noses and did everything else that was clowns do. And I was like, I stood up and I go, hey, who are these clowns? And they look at me and I go, hey, I just always wanted to say that. Well, do you ever get a chance to say that?
No, I can't think of anyone who did other than yourself.
I know. And then when I was doing this court case 3 years ago, we had to stand by this thing and sign some stuff. I had to sign some stuff and do that and stuff. And this guy came by with a sheriff's uniform on. And he walks by and I go, hey! And he looks at me and goes, howdy, Sheriff! I said, I've always wanted to say that.
Well, you got me beat with that one too, then.
I think of this stuff because, you know what, I laugh about it to myself often. Yeah. Howdy, Sheriff! He looks at me and goes, okay, hi. I said, nah, just wanted to say that all my life.
Right?
Well, he was down with it. He was good.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't know if it's awesome. It's weird, but that's me.